Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB and today is the 19th of Jan 2023. And look guys, the global cryptocurrency market has gone down. What I'd really recommend you to do is listen to my podcast on the 11th and on the 12th because I very specifically mentioned that over the weekend, the prices of the global cryptocurrency market will go up and probably on Tuesday or Wednesday, the global cryptocurrency market will collapse. And my reasoning was because of the drama that is going on between Digital Currency Group and Barry Silbert and the whole drama between Winklevoss brothers and the negative impact it might have to Grayscale investment. And look guys, I really am hoping that Grayscale investment does not go belly up because the impact would be absolutely devastating, probably much more than FTX collapse as well. Hopefully that thing doesn't happen. They're able to get the funds and the customers of Gemini Exchange, Genesis and Digital Currency Group is not affected, and hoping that the global cryptocurrency market does not get affected in a negative way as well. Today's episode, we're also going to be discussing some negative news about ConsenSys, and Joseph Lubin, who's the CEO and founder of ConsenSys, did actually mention that he's slashing the headcount by 11%. So I'm going to be giving some information regarding the blog. It looks like we are heading towards the winter of global cryptocurrency market, but Binance seems to be doing ridiculously good, and they have made some partnership in Poland. So we'll definitely go ahead and discuss that in today's news. Now regarding Ethereum, we do have some negative news, and the Ethereum gas fee has gone up. Even if you were to use second layer protocols, that is Arbitrum and Optimism, the gas fee is still ridiculously high. But in today's episode, we're also going to be discussing how Arbitrum and Optimism did actually benefit and made humongous profit in 2022. Now look guys, in today's episode, we are going to be discussing some technical information by Glassnode. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using ChatGPT, and usually what happens is Glassnodes, they provide a lot of technical analysis. Now if you're a technical node, I would definitely recommend you to read through the report that Glassnode puts it up. I find it extremely difficult. So what I did, I asked ChatGPT to make a summary of the article and explain to me, and there are 10 points or 10 indicators for tracking bear market recovery, which is mentioned in the report by Glassnode. So I'm going to be sharing those 10 points. Along with Glassnodes, CoinShares did also publish a weekly report on Monday, and I'm going to be discussing some news regarding that. So a lot to cover in today's episode. Now like we do in every Crypto and Coffee Date podcast, we're also going to be discussing two news from UAE, and both the news are from Blockchain DXB. Now listen guys, in the month of February, I'm planning to have a couple of events, and the first event is Bitcoin Beginner's Guide, which is a 3-part series that kickstarts on the 2nd of Feb, 9th of Feb and 16th of February. Now in today's episode, I'm going to be explaining what is it that will contain in these sessions. And the second session is on the 2nd of February as well, and it is about Ethereum Beginner's Guide. Now look guys, I really strongly feel a lot of people in the Bitcoin, cryptocurrency and blockchain community still do not understand the basics of Bitcoin and beginner. One reason for me to do these sessions is so that people get a general understanding of what these sessions are. If you are a company or a startup, and if you do want to sponsor these events, send me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Now let's kickstart today's episode. Welcome to the Crypto and Coffee at 8, the daily podcast that keeps you up to date on all latest developments in the world of cryptocurrencies, blockchain, and NFTs. Join us Monday to Friday as you kick off your day with a cup of coffee and a deep dive into the exciting and rapidly evolving world of digital assets. We'll cover the latest news and trends in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space, as well as delve into the growing world of NFTs or non-fungible tokens and metaverse. Plus, we'll keep you updated on the latest developments from Dubai, UAE, and the wider Middle East region. Whether you're a seasoned crypto enthusiast or just getting started, Crypto and Coffee at 8 has something for you. Our expert host will provide insight and analysis on the most important topics in the industry and help you stay up to date on the latest developments. We'll bring you interviews with leading figures in the crypto and blockchain space and explore the ways in which these technologies are changing the world around us, from the impact on traditional financial systems to the potential for revolutionizing industries and transforming societies. We'll cover it all on Crypto and Coffee at 8. So tune in and join us for a daily dose of Crypto and Coffee at 8, and let's stay ahead of the curve together. We'll start your day off right with the most important news and insights from the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain, and the metaverse, and help you navigate this exciting and rapidly evolving landscape. In Crypto and Coffee at 8, the daily podcast covers the latest developments in the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain, and the metaverse. We'll also bring you updates on the latest news from Dubai, UAE and wider Middle East region. This also includes a range of topics such as developments in the local and blockchain industry, including new projects and initiatives, regulatory updates, and policies related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region, local and regional events, and conferences focused on crypto and blockchain, interviews with leading figures in Dubai, UAE, and Middle East crypto and blockchain community, coverage of any significant news or events related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region. By covering these local and regional developments, in addition to the wider world of cryptocurrency and blockchain, Crypto and Coffee at 8 aims to provide a comprehensive overview of the industry and its impact on the Dubai, UAE, and Middle East region. Now, before we kickstart today's episode, I have an important message, so check this out. Firstly, guys, Startup OI is global one-tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called Rise in the Obstacle Course Race, and Rise in the Obstacle Course Race podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs. And these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen, guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing. Go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform and search for Rise in the Obstacle Course Race podcast. And finally, guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below. Now, since you've taken care of that, let's look at the global cryptocurrency market. Now, since the last 48 hours or so, the global cryptocurrency market is down by $35 billion. Now, on my episode on the 17th, I was just talking about if the global cryptocurrency market will cross the $1 trillion mark. Unfortunately, the prices have gone down. Now, the global cryptocurrency market as of today is $966 billion. And since the last 24 hours, it is down by 2.98%. The total crypto market volume over the last 24 hours is $60.21 billion and a decrease of 23.68%, which means people have been selling their crypto, particularly since the last 48 hours. The total crypto market volume over the last 24 hours is $5.09 billion and the total value locked has gone down as well. It is currently at $44.34 billion and Lido is still dominating so far as the total value locked is concerned for DeFi protocols, and it is currently at 17.14%, and $7.62 billion is locked in its protocol, followed by MakerDAO at $6.93 billion, Aave at $4.38 billion, and Core Finance at $4.31 billion, and finally at number 5 is Convex Finance at $3.83 billion. Now look guys, in 2020 and 2021, Uniswap used to always be in the top 5, but 2023, looks like it's taken out from the top 5, but it is still at number 6. DeFi protocol do account for 8.33% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. Now let's look at the volume of stablecoins. Once again, the trend is continuing really bad for stablecoins. The volume is ridiculously low, but stablecoin still accounts for 90.09% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. Now, as of today, stablecoin accounts for $54.12 billion, and Tether USDT is still dominating with $39.49 billion, Circle USD at $4.20 billion, and finally Binance BNB at $10.11 billion. Now let's look at the market cap, 24-hour trading volume and dominance between Bitcoin and Ethereum. And once again, guys, Ethereum's market cap is well below the 50% mark of the market cap of Bitcoin. But the question that I'd like to ask is, once the Ethereum hard fork, that is the Shanghai upgrade, is going to take place, will Ethereum's market cap cross the 50% mark of Bitcoin's market cap? I believe the date is somewhere around the 3rd of March. What are your thoughts, guys? Mention them in the comments below. Now, as of today, market cap of Bitcoin is $401 billion and Ethereum is at $187 billion. The 24-hour trading volume is $29.9 billion and it just might cross $30 billion in the next few hours. Ethereum's 24-hour trading volume is $10.1 billion. And if you look at the dominance between Bitcoin and Ethereum, the dominance of Bitcoin is definitely up at 41.40%, and Ethereum's dominance is down to 19.30%. Now this week, guys, I've been looking at different metrics every day. On the 16th, I looked at the total value of assets in dApp smart contract platform. On the 17th, guys, I looked at the number of unique active wallets interacting with decentralized apps smart contracts. So listen to the episode on the 16th and 17th. And on the 18th of Jan, I did not release any episode. That was because it was my birthday and I was just relaxing and having a good time. Now today, the 19th, I'm looking at the total amount of incoming value to dApps or decentralized apps smart contracts, and I'm looking at the active wallets. So Uniswap, in terms of the dollar amount, is at $7.66 billion. Simple FX number second, it is at $1.06 billion. And both of them are exchanges, so it looks like exchanges are definitely leading the pack. The third one is 1inch Network, which is a DeFi protocol, and the total amount of incoming value is $381.4 million, followed by Core Finance at $355.77 million, and finally PancakeSwap, which is once again a DeFi protocol, at $154.76 million. These are rookie numbers, considering the fact that when you're talking about smart contracts, DeFi protocols and cryptocurrencies changing the entire world, ideally the number should be at least 20 times bigger. And you need to also remember that Bitcoin is well over a decade-long invention. Now, this notion that people say that we are still in the early stages, I totally disagree. Think of Instagram. When was that launched? Think of TikTok. When was that launched? Look at ChatGPT. The number of volume is ridiculously much higher. And you need to accept the fact, because facts don't look at your emotions. Unfortunately, Bitcoin, blockchain, and cryptocurrency is a decade-old system, and the number by now should be at least 20 times much bigger than what it is. Now let's look at the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin. And the price of Bitcoin has gone down by 2.12% since the last 24 hours, and it is currently at $20,838. And since the last 7 days, it is up by 14.44%. Ethereum is currently at $1,530. Since the last 24 hours, it is down by 3.41%. And in today's episode, guys, we're going to be talking quite a lot about Ethereum. And unfortunately, both of the news are negative news. Now, since the last 7 days, it is still up by 9.19%. Binance Coin is $291. Since the last 24 hours, it is down by 3.99%. Since the last 7 days, it is up by 1.60%. Now, unfortunately, guys, in the world of Ethereum, ConsenSys did actually release a negative news, and they are slashing the headcount by 11%. And Joseph Lubin, who's the CEO and founder of ConsenSys, did actually mention via Twitter, and he also put up a link for the official blog, which states that ConsenSys focuses its strategy to ensure future growth, and that the company would be cutting 96 of its staff to focus its resources on its core business. Now, what he said is poorly behaved centralized finance or CeFi actors have cast a broad pall on our ecosystem, that we will all need to work through. So definitely agree to his point. Now if you read through the blog, he did highlight the support that he is giving for his employees. Focus on the business and what are they doing. And you need to remember, guys, ConsenSys is a blockchain technology company, and they recently announced that they will be streamlining the workforce to adjust the current challenges and uncertain market conditions in the industry. That this decision will unfortunately impact 96 employees or 11% of ConsenSys total workforce. It is important to recognize the impact this will have on the employees affected by the decision. ConsenSys, though, is providing generous severance packages and support for impacted employees, including extended option exercise window and personalized support from an external placement agency. And moving forward, ConsenSys is focusing its business on core value drivers such as MetaMask end user and developer platform and Inflows developer platform. The company plans to continue to invest strategically in growth areas and new opportunities to empower developers and creators to thrive in the Web3 industry. The goal for ConsenSys is simple, guys. It is to increase the strength and focus on the product dreams while reducing operation expenses. Unfortunately, it's important to note that this decision is not a reflection of the company's performance or progress, but rather a strategic move to ensure long-term success and sustainability. Now listen, guys, I did read through the blog and I do feel that ConsenSys remains committed to the vision of building a decentralized future and will continue to invest in growth areas and new opportunities. And guys, listen, it's always difficult to see any kind of layoff or downsizing in a company, but it's important to remember that this is a common practice in any industry, especially in the times of economic uncertainty. Now, we do wish the best for employees affected by this decision and hope they will have new opportunities soon. And ConsenSys, they do have an office in D3, in Dubai Design District 3, and in 2016, I did attend a meetup session. And you always need to remember that ConsenSys is a company that has made significant strides in the blockchain industry, and I strongly feel that they will continue to do so in the near future. And what I'll do, guys, I'll keep you updated on any new developments and progress from ConsenSys. But fortunately, guys, the crypto winter is not affecting Binance, and Binance has announced its local presence and compliance in Poland, and they did mention via the blog that they are moving into Poland. So I'm just going to highlight the three main takeaways. Binance's entity in Poland fully complies with local regulatory standards for virtual asset service providers. And how it's going to affect people in Poland, because Polish residents registered with Binance are now currently going to be asked to sign new terms and conditions with Binance Poland, SPZOO. I really have no idea what that is, but looks like that is some local authority. And guys, Binance in Poland has also announced plans to ramp up local talent acquisition, events and the educational initiatives in Poland. So definitely good news for Binance. Now let me talk about some more negative thing, and that is regarding Ethereum. And we're going to be discussing an article which is published in Bitcoin.com. And as many of you know, the value of Ethereum has been greatly rising since the last 14 days. And at the time of this recording, guys, an Ethereum is currently trading at $1,530 after reaching a high of 1,606 during the 24-hour period. Now, with this increase in the value of Ethereum, I'm also noticing an increase in the cost of sending and transacting with Ethereum. Now, this is because of gas fees, which are required to perform any action on the Ethereum network, and these fees are used to compensate the network miners for computational power they are providing to validate transactions. And as more people are using the Ethereum network to send, receive, and perform other actions, the demand for this computational power is increasing. This in turn leads to higher gas fees. While it's great to see an increase in the value of Ethereum, it's important to remember that this gas fees can be detrimental to the end user experience, because why would you want to pay high gas fees? It should be low cost to send and transact with Ethereum, but with the current high gas fee, it is becoming a hindrance for end users like you and me, especially for small transactions and micropayments. High gas fees also limit the use case of Ethereum as a medium of exchange. And look, guys, the developers and the community are constantly working on solutions to lower the gas fees, such as layer 2 solutions like Arbitrum and Optimism. Unfortunately, even by using Arbitrum and Optimism, the gas fee is still high. The only thing I can say is, it is exciting to see the value of Ethereum rise. It's also important to keep in mind the impact high gas fees can have on the end user. Now, the community and developers are working towards a solution to lower gas fees and improve the overall experience. So let's try to see what happens to the gas fees in the next few days. Now, News BTC did publish an article that did actually state that Arbitrum and Optimism raked in millions of dollars in profit despite the extended bear market that hammered DeFi protocols activities in Ethereum valuation in 2022. And guys, one user via Twitter did share some real crucial information which stated that Arbitrum and Optimism, which are general purpose Ethereum layer 2 platforms, made 2,906 Ethereum and 2,086 Ethereum respectively. So in US terms, you're looking at roughly around $4.6 million and $3.3 million each protocol. So it looks like Arbitrum and Optimism did make a lot of money in the bear market. Now guys, let's discuss some technical information. Now look guys, every Monday Glassnodes, they tend to provide a weekly insight. Now I've mentioned several times in the past that this data is extremely technical. They have a lot of graphs, and I'm not a technical nerd, but if you're a technical nerd, I would definitely recommend you to read through the article. They also have a paid subscription, so read through the paid subscription. Now I'm a bit lazy, so what I did, I copy pasted the entire thing, I put it into ChatGPT, and I asked them to explain it to me in simple terms. So essentially in this article they have written 10 indicators. So let me just read it out. Now mind you guys, this is written entirely by ChatGPT, so let me know what your thoughts are. The first one is finding flows, a flow detection model based on the 200-day SME technical indicator and the on-chain cost basis in the realized price. The second, a hike in demand measured by comparing the monthly average of new addresses to the yearly average. The third, a competitive fee market measured by the number of transactions and the total transaction fees on the network. Fourth, market structure measured by the ratio of long-term holders to short-term holders and the proportion of coins held in large wallets. Fifth, supply dynamics measured by the saturation of the coin supply held by long-term holders. Sixth, profit and loss measured by a return of profit on chain spending and exhaustion of sellers. Seventh, whales in waiting measured by the number of large transactions and the proportion of coins held in large wallets. Eighth, fear and greed measured by the crypto fear and greed index, which tracks market sentiments. Ninth, market sentiment measured by social media sentiment and news sentiment analysis. And finally, 10th, a return to retail investors measured by the number of unique addresses and the percentage of coins held in smart wallets. Now listen guys, this is what ChatGPT threw out for me, and once again guys, I'm completely blown away. Now what I tend to do is I tend to look at CoinShares weekly blog, because along with Glassnodes, CoinShares tend to provide a weekly blog as well, and the blog is called as Digital Asset Fund Flows Weekly Report, and they tend to publish it via Medium. And what the blog states is there was a 13% rise in assets under management since October of 2021, but only some minor inflows of $9.2 million, and minor inflows totaling $9.2 million were seen last week. Now this is before the increase in the price over the weekend, and trading volumes remained low at $866 million, whereas Ethereum broke its 8-week spell of outflows with an inflow at $5.6 million. Now look guys, I'm really keen to see what data CoinShares and Glassnode publishes next Monday, because there's been a lot of movement since the last 3 to 4 days, so it's going to be extremely critical to look at that report. Now once again guys, these reports need not predict the future because markets tend to change over time, but nonetheless next week it's going to be really interesting to what that report says. Now guys, let's talk about 2 news regarding UAE, and both the news are events that I'm conducting in the month of February, and the first one is called Bitcoin Beginner's Guide Session. Now every month I have these sessions, and the first session is taking place on the 2nd of Feb, second one is on the 9th of Feb, and finally on the 16th of Feb. And this is our 3-part beginner's guide session. Now all of these session guides start at 11 a.m. Gulf Standard Time to 12:30 p.m. Gulf Standard Time, and this is just an initiative to educate and consult the people on Dubai on Bitcoin and blockchain technology, keeping in mind the Dubai blockchain strategy. Now the link for the events can be found on eventbrite.com or also in my website www.blockchaindxb.com. Or guys, if you want to drop me an email, just drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. So let me quickly explain what is it that I'll be explaining on the 2nd of Feb, on the 9th of Feb, and finally on the 16th of Feb. And you can choose if you want to attend only one session. Now on the 2nd of February, what I'm going to be discussing is the history of Bitcoin, the projects that existed before Bitcoin, the prior problems with Bitcoin. And listen guys, there were cryptocurrency protocols that did actually exist before Bitcoin. So what Satoshi Nakamoto did, he solved the double spend problem. So in the episode, I'm going to discuss how Satoshi Nakamoto solved the double spend problem. So essentially what he did, he compiled cryptography, mathematics, and hashing algorithm. And we'll discuss who is Satoshi Nakamoto, why he matters and why he does not, and what is it that goes in the blockchain, and how the Bitcoin mechanism works. So at a very basic level, we look at what is a block and what goes into a chain. It is not at all technical. It is something which even a 5-year-old can understand. Now, on the 9th of February, we're going to be discussing Byzantine fault tolerance. We'll also look at the white paper, a general discussion of the white paper. We'll go ahead and explore what is private key, what is public key, and what is public address. Now, listen, guys, it is going to be extremely technical. You do not need absolutely any technical expertise. We'll also be looking at SHA-256 or secure hashing algorithm. And I'll give some examples on how you can use hashing algorithm, mathematics, and cryptography. But once again, guys, it's not at all technical. We'll also look at how Bitcoin mining works, the halving of Bitcoin. And look, guys, 2023 has had the worst start for the Bitcoin mining industry. So we'll definitely go ahead and look at that. We'll also discuss the Bitcoin mining difficulty. And earlier in the month, I did talk about the Bitcoin mining difficulty, which was completely staggered, which is definitely not good. So we'll definitely go ahead and explore quite a lot of that. And finally, on the 16th of February, we'll discuss Bitcoin market share. We'll look at the different forks of Bitcoin. We'll talk about Bitcoin Core, Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, Bitcoin Cash, and quite a lot of other. And look, guys, I did have an interview with the managing director of a protocol called a Smart Ledger, and they are using Bitcoin Satoshi Vision. So definitely check it out. So on my podcast channel, go to Smart Ledger. The conversation is with Eva Porras, and she's the managing director and lead researcher of Smart Ledger. She has a brilliant academic background, so listen to it. She did provide some useful information on why they have chosen BSV. And on the session on the 16th of February, I'll also discuss the wallets and the different types of wallet. We'll also discuss the pillars of open blockchain, which is popularized by Andreas Antonopoulos. And I've mentioned this so many times in my podcast, guys. It's so critical to truly understand the pillars of open blockchain. So critical. So open source, borderless, censorship resistant, permissionless, neutral, and publicly verifiable. And these are points which are popularized by the guru of Bitcoin, that is Andreas Antonopoulos. And we'll also make a comparison between open blockchain versus private blockchain, how to buy, sell, and hodl your Bitcoin. But I'll be not giving absolutely any investment advice. And finally, we'll also look at the current and the future state of Bitcoin. So the session is at a basic and beginner level, and I think you guys will definitely be benefited by it. Now let's move on to the second news from Crypto and Coffee 88, and that is once again a session that I'm conducting called as the Ethereum Beginner's Guide on the 2nd of February. But this takes place between 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. Gulf Standard Time. And once again, guys, it is done in line with Dubai Blockchain Strategy, an initiative to educate, consult the people on blockchain technology. And you can go to eventbrite.com and just type in blockchain DXB. And listen, guys, if you're a startup or business entity and want to sponsor these sessions, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. And the session on the 2nd of February 2023, we'll be discussing what is Ethereum, the history of Ethereum, and the projects that existed before Ethereum. We'll also make a quick comparison between Bitcoin and Ethereum. What are the challenges which were faced by Ethereum in the initial stages? Because they did have a DAO attack, which is also called as decentralized or distributed autonomous organization attack. So we'll discuss some of the challenges, because that rumor is circulating right now and looks like we have found out who did that attack. We'll also discuss the challenges that they faced while transitioning from Ethereum to Ethereum consensus layer or Ethereum 2.0. We'll also discuss the biggest game changer in Ethereum, called as the London hard fork, where the supply of Ethereum is cleverly managed. And guys, I really strongly feel that central banks all over the world, when they launch the central bank digital currency, they will try to implement the burning mechanism. And guys, in the podcast that I released on the 17th of Jan, I did talk about Binance BNB, where they had $500 million worth of the Binance BNB token burn. And essentially what happens is they cleverly manage the supply, because of which the demand increases, and quite a lot of other. Ethereum did merge from Ethereum to Ethereum consensus layer or 2.0. And there were a couple of stages that they went through. That is the merge, the surge, the verge, the purge, and the splurge. We look at it at a very basic level, because there is no point understanding it now because it's already happened. But we will look at the impact, what has happened post the merge, because there are a couple of hard forks called as Ethereum POW. And right now, because Ethereum is on proof of stake protocol, the biggest challenge for Ethereum is that the block is heavily OFAC compliant, which means transactions in Ethereum can be censored. So we'll discuss quite a lot of that in this session. We'll also go ahead and discuss if you want to get involved in Ethereum, what is it that you can do, how to build an Ethereum, the competitors or so-called Ethereum killers of Ethereum. Now look guys, since 2016 there have been so many Ethereum killers. EOS was one protocol which was supposed to completely wipe off Ethereum. Unfortunately, looks like that has disappeared. And last year in 2022, there were talks about Solana overtaking Ethereum. So everything tends to disappear and looks like Ethereum is still sitting on the throne. And we'll also discuss the current and the future state of Ethereum and quite a lot more. And once again guys, the session is completely free of cost at a very basic level. And if you do want to sponsor these events, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxp.com or info@area2071.com. So that's all for today guys, on the Crypto and Coffee at 8 from Blockchain DXP. If you have any feedback or suggestions, please drop me an email to info@blockchaindxp.com, and also check out my website www.blockchaindxp.com and area2071.com that talks everything about Metaverse. And if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating and share the word across. Now for the next few minutes is going to be an Ask Me Anything series where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi and Metaverse. So let's kickstart with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXP listening to the Ask Me Anything series where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi and Metaverse. I have a question by Sean who asks, what advice would you like to give businesses who want to get into cryptocurrency or blockchain space? Sean, the biggest advice what I'd like to give is sponsor my podcast, sponsor the events that I'm conducting. I'm just kidding. What I really would recommend, Sean, is try to understand the technology and where your business meets blockchain. Now, one thing which I've said quite often on my podcast is that there are very limited use cases of blockchain technology, contrary to popular belief, which is done by so-called experts in the cryptocurrency, blockchain, NFT space. People talk about blockchain revolutionizing everything. That will revolutionize a couple of things, but it does have very limited use case. So the first advice, Sean, is understand what the technology is. And Sean, I do have precisely 2 events taking place in 2nd of February, so please feel free to attend it. You can maybe even ask your employees to attend these sessions as well. So understand the technology. Another real strong advice which I'd like to give for you, Sean, is when you look at news and information, particularly in the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain, Web 3.0 and Metaverse, 80 to 90% of the news, unfortunately, is fake news. Look at information from first source. And one thing which I often say, not related to technology, but also regarding social media posts and politics in particular, having a lot of information is not important, but getting information from the first source is. So when you're reading any article, especially articles published on LinkedIn, trust me, Sean, 90% of them are 100% inaccurate information. An example which I can think of is about the news regarding Apple. I did see one of my associates did actually state that Apple is launching its mixed reality headset and quite a lot of other, and he also somehow miraculously got the price of what the mixed reality headset is. If you look at the original source, and I did have an episode literally talking about it, it is just an author's opinion, and there is very little chance for Apple to literally go ahead and launch the mixed reality headset because there is no official source. It is an author who shared his opinion about Apple probably launching a mixed reality headset, and he did actually mention that in 2017 that Apple is going to launch a virtual reality headset and quite a lot of other, and none of these did actually come to fruition. But anyways, the point that I'm trying to make is, Sean, when you're looking at absolutely any information, make sure you try to get information from the first source and try to understand, so far as your business is concerned, what areas of business does actually meet with blockchain, because there are very limited use cases of blockchain. Beyond having the data stored on blockchain, I really don't see any use case of blockchain. I still am on the belief that dApps or decentralized apps will not work on blockchain. You also need to remember the whole 10x problem. By switching to blockchain, is your business benefiting 10 times, or will a centralized service offer better service? You also have customer service. You also have insurance and quite a lot of other. One big area though, Sean, what I would really recommend is, as the business entity, what you can do is you can accept cryptocurrencies as a form of payment, and that probably might be a brilliant use case, irrespective of what business you have. Rather than accepting fiat currencies, you can always accept cryptocurrency as part of a payment, and you can do it in a very small way and then gradually try to explore it. Now, one thing which I often say is the second line of Bitcoin white paper did actually state the main benefits are lost if a centralized entity is required to prevent double spending. So when you're using cryptocurrencies or accepting cryptocurrencies as a form of payment, try to set it up in such a way that the customer directly pays it for you. Once your business expands, then you can use a centralized entity, let's say like Binance Pay and quite a lot of other. Now, if you do want to set it up where the customers can directly send you funds, drop me an email and I'll show you ways how you can do that. Other than that, I would definitely recommend you, Sean, to educate the staff on the technologies. And at the end of the day, how can your customers or end users benefit by using cryptocurrencies in blockchain space? That is the only advice that I'd like to give. So that's all for today, guys, on the Ask Me Anything series on Blockchain DXP. In case you have any feedback or suggestions, please drop me an email to info@blockchaindxp.com and check out my website www.blockchaindxp.com, and also check out my other website, that is area2071.com, that talks everything about Metaverse. And if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. And remember, guys, Monday to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. we have Crypto and Coffee at 8, where we cover job news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well, news that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other news and information is related to Dubai, UAE, and Middle East in the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, peer blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions from the cryptocurrency world. Thanks so much for listening, guys, and stay tuned for tomorrow, because every Fridays we have Metaverse Everything podcast, where we focus fully on Metaverse. So please check out those episodes as well. So thanks so much for listening, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.